Check it out. Elderberries. It is a beautiful evening here in North Alabama, right in the middle of August, right around the time that these elderberries are at the peak of the ripeness. This video is going to be about how we can take these berries off the stem and ready for all of the awesome things that we want to do with them. And there are several different methods that people will use that I've seen on the internet that work to varying degrees. The first one is to buy like a tooth comb, and you can take the berries and kind of comb them off, and that way works pretty well. Another way that I've seen is to go ahead and freeze them right now at this stage, and then take them out later and kind of whack them against something, and that works too. But actually that method also works right now at this stage when they're just right on the stem and they haven't been frozen yet. And this is the one that's my favorite method. I think it's the most efficient. So this is what I've done, and this works for me, and I want to show you guys my process and how I make this work. So ideally this works best if you have something like a bucket, but right here I have this flexible cooler with me, and this is going to work well enough. All that we're going to do is we're going to take our berries on the stem like this, we're going to put it in here, and we're just going to hit it back and forth on the sides. Now, you can see that I still have a couple berries left right here, but that's what we're looking for. With this method, the unripe berries are going to stay on the vine, they're not going to come off, and we're just going to be left with the ripe berries here in our bucket or cooler, whichever one works for you. So I'm just going to take all of these stems and put them in here, and then once they're done I'm going to set them off to the side like this, and then we're going to move on to the next step. So let's go ahead and get through this step right now. So while I'm doing this, I'm also going to be aware of checking in on the inside where I'm getting all my berries. And I'm going to try to pick out a couple of the vines, maybe some that have fallen in along the way. But I'm not going to worry too much about this at this stage, because at a later point in time this is going to be way more efficient than trying to do it right now in this closed container. I'm really just worried about getting these stems and knocking the berries in there. Alright, so this is what we're left with right here. We can see, pretty good haul, not too bad. So now we're ready for step 2. Let's do it. Alright, I think it's gonna start raining on me here pretty soon, so I'm gonna have to be pretty efficient here. So now we have all of our berries. This was the old stuff, and we have them here in our little mini soft cooler. Right now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give them a wash. This isn't an essential step, but this is something that I like to do just to make sure that any bits of gunk or whatever it was that could have gotten them in the harvesting process, I'm just going to make sure to take that off. And then after that we're going to go on to step 3, and that's when we're going to make sure that we get off all of those bugs and stems and little bits that got into the bucket right here. So I'm just going to take this right here, I'm going to pour them into this little strainer. Alright. I'm just gonna do this amount for right now, but there's about another half that's still in here. Okay, let's go and wash this out. Okay, now that these are washed, they're filtered out, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay them out flat to dry, and then that's also the stage that we're gonna make sure to take out all the excess debris and stuff and gunk that got in there while we were processing it. All right, let's go and do that. So here's the pan that I started out with at the very beginning, and I'm just gonna take this that we have here and lay it out on the pan. Now, once it's all laid out, I'm also going to just make sure to spread it out a bit. Again, I want to kind of increase the overall surface area so that it dries as easily as possible. And now, as you can see, it's way easier to get to all these little bits of leaves or debris. It's way easier than it was before when we had it in the bucket. At this point, I'm gonna put this inside because it's about to rain, but otherwise I would leave it outside. I'm gonna let it dry. And then I'm just gonna put it in Ziploc bags and set it away in the freezer to store until a time where I'm ready to do some processing on it. So that's basically it. We're done. All right, guys, that's everything that I do for pre-processing my elderberries. Again, we started with these stems right here. We got the berries off the stem. We put them into this cooler here and put them into this colander. We gave them a quick rinse, and then we took it from the colander and we put it out on this baking sheet to dry. And then that's when we're gonna take out all this bits of debris. I'm gonna do that after it starts to dry a little bit. And once that's happened, then we're ready to go. We're ready to put it away in bags or use it for whatever we wanna use it for. Again, awesome jelly, syrup, and if I'm lucky, wine. I hope that you liked this video. I'm really curious to know about what your method is for processing elderberries. Let me know in the comments. Do you use this method? Do you use the freeze method? Do you use a comb? Let me know which one that you guys use. I'm hoping to make a video about what I'm gonna do with all of this stuff when it's done. But until then, keep exploring and keep foraging.